Hello everyone and welcome to another honest review where we skip the BS, get right to the nitty gritty, and today we're going to be looking at the new SCUF VANTAGE gaming controller for the PlayStation 4 and PC. The reason this controller is different than any other gaming controller on the market is one, its design, which we're going to cover in a second, and also its new side access buttons. This has 6 customizable remappable buttons, so you have 4 on the back and 2 side access buttons on the sides. No other gaming controller company is doing it like this, period. Real quick, gonna note that there's 2 different versions of this controller. There is a wired only option of this controller, so it has 0 Bluetooth capability. That is $170. That does not come with a case, which you see right here. There's a $200 option which has wired and Bluetooth options, and it comes with this really cool case. So the first thing that I noticed when I pulled this controller out of the box is that it is not what I ordered. I paid $30 extra, which you can do with either version of the controller, and it makes it so that you can customize the controller fully. Your faceplate, anti-friction rings, your thumbsticks, all the colors and different options, you can completely customize it. So SCUF actually sent an apology letter. If you would like, you can pause the video now and read the apology letter, but essentially they ran out of parts because the demand for this controller was so high. They had more pre-orders than they ever possibly could have anticipated, and they're completely out of stock right now of the wired only version, the cheaper version of this controller. They're out of stock. Before I get into all the features of the controller, I'm going to go over the few things that are cons that are not working that I noticed, because of course I tested the controller before I review it for you guys, and I'm going to note that the Bluetooth option is not working. Yes, I know how to sync a Bluetooth controller. Yes, I read the manual on how to use the Bluetooth option. Also, I want to note that there is a new remappable option, which we'll cover how that works later, but when I go to remap my buttons, of course it all sets up perfectly. I can map my triggers and my side access buttons to what I want them to be, but the bad thing is that it is not saving them permanently in the controller. I have to remap my buttons every single time that I've used this controller, and that's definitely a negative. I didn't experience that with my other SCUFs. There's going to be an update video for this controller, so if you guys are new, please make sure to like, subscribe, possibly hit notifications for that update video. And from custom controllers to gaming monitors, you name it, we cover it. So what all came with the controller out of the box? Of course, we got the case and we get a full customized kit here. They send you 2 heightened domed sticks. What comes on the controller is 2 concave sticks, which I like for the grip, but for my aiming thumbstick, I like it to be a little bit higher, kind of to simulate Control Freaks. So we're gonna go ahead and pull one of those out right now because we're gonna be using that in a second. They give you 2 trigger extenders, which we're gonna pull those out because we're gonna put those on. They give you a control disc to customize with, which we're going to use. An Allen key to customize your hair triggers, which we'll cover in a second. And I'm not gonna need this second heightened dome stick. And we get 2 anti-friction rings to swap out with the existing anti-friction rings, which are around our thumbstick. We get a SCUF capsule, which is kind of neat. You go ahead and put anything that you want to take with you on the go, on the fly. You can just put anything you want to customize on your controller in this cool little SCUF pod, take it with you, and that way you have what you need in a little convenient carrying case. You get a 10-foot high-speed micro USB cable, which is really for that wired-only option, but it's cool because I prefer the wired-only option. The reason I say that is because if you look at PC gamers, they're not going to use a wireless Bluetooth mouse for their gaming. They're going to use a wired mouse, and the reason is that you're going to get faster connection to whatever you're gaming on. This is a really, really high-quality braided micro USB cable, and it's 10 feet long, so it's definitely as long as you're going to need it. First thing I noticed when I put the controller in my hands was the grip. The grips on the back are perfect. These things feel really, really good. It sits really, really nicely in the hand. The controller feels really, really ergonomic. Love the way it feels. Great. Unlike previous SCUF designs, we'll look at the 4PS Infinity Pro here. This controller, if I was to want to open it up or change anything out, I would have to unscrew my paddles here on the back to swap them out. I would have to unscrew my controller here with these screws to customize anything on the inside. No longer. With the new Vantage controller, all we have to do is pop off the magnetic faceplate and boom, everything we want to customize is easily accessible. First thing we're going to know is the rumble packs right here. You pop out with ease. If you don't want your rumble packs in, no longer are you going to have to tell them when you order the controller, I want rumble packs removed. They've gone ahead and put a design in place, a great engineering design actually. You'll just be able to pop these out with ease. If I don't want my rumble packs in and I want my controller lighter, I can pop them right out. If I'm playing a game where having that rumble pack is important and it's going to affect my gameplay, I can just put them right back in with ease. And I think that this is probably one of the most clever designs for customization on that note. Like I was saying before, I wanted a heightened thumbstick here. If I want to change out my thumbstick, it pulls right off, and I can take my heightened dome thumbstick here and pop it right on. I think that that's super awesome. And the faceplate, like I said, is magnetic and just pops right back on. Boom. So if I want to swap out my D-pad, which you see right here, it is also magnetic. I can swap it out to a control disc, which all I would need to do is pull off the existing D-pad and pop on the control disc, which is magnetic. It just pops right on there, and boom, I have a control disc instead. But I prefer the D-pad, so I'm gonna put the D-pad back on. But yeah, swapping that out is super easy. I wanted to put my extended triggers on. I could just pop off my existing trigger like so. And while we're at it, if I wanted to make my triggers hair triggers, you use the provided Allen key, which you see right here. It's a 0.9mm Allen key. They call it the SCUF key. And I would stick it in my controller right here. And what I'm doing is calibrating the spring on the inside so that it's set up to where when I barely press the trigger, it's a hair trigger now. And you do that with both your fire and your aim trigger so that you have the fastest possible input for aiming and shooting. So duly noted to go ahead and customize your hair triggers. So I'm gonna go ahead and put on my L2 extended trigger, which is right over here, pops right on, and my R2 extended trigger. The purpose behind these is to make it very easy to hit your L2, R2, and it just kind of sits easier in your hand while using them. So of course, we're not gonna have the regular PlayStation pad here. We have the SCUF pad, and it has SCUF written in it like a million times. See, SCUF. And we have the brand new audio touchpad to adjust your gain on your headset. So that's really cool. You can adjust your gain on your headset and what you're hearing on the fly if you're plugged into the bottom here. That's only if you're plugged into the bottom here. Go through your instruction guide here and know what you're doing before you get hands-on and start swapping things up. Gonna note that the paddles pop on and off. So say I didn't even want one of these paddles here and I'm accidentally pressing it or whatever, you can just take the paddle off entirely by pressing up and it rotates right on out. And if you break one on accident, it's really easy to replace. So you have your hair triggers back here as well as your trigger stops. These trigger stops, you rotate downward so that you hardly press the trigger. So you're not pressing the trigger as far down, so it depresses as quick as possible for you. So you can get more rapid fire semi-automatic shots if you're going semi-automatic. But I'm going to go ahead and show you how easy it is to remap your controller with the new Vantage. So here we have a play mode and the settings mode, which would be your remap mode. So if I wanted to remap some buttons, I would slide over to the remap mode. And then real quick, say I wanted to make this trigger right here jump, I would hold this trigger and the jump button at the same time for about 2 seconds and then let go. And now that paddle is now set to my X button. So no longer will I have to press X and then aim while I'm jumping and shooting at someone. I can just click the trigger and I'm jumping midair and I can aim at my target. Say I never want to have to take my thumb off of the reload button, which would be square. I can just hold my side access button and square at the same time. Now I'm remapping to where my side access button will be my reload button from now on. That is the whole purpose behind this controller, guys. You're going to be able to do what you want to do in game easier without stopping your movement and your aiming. Well, there you have it, your no nonsense, no BS review of the SCUF Vantage gaming controller. Overall, I think this is great. I look forward to seeing you guys' reaction in the comment section below. I avidly track my comments and make sure to get back to you guys as soon as I can on just your thoughts and whether or not you think this is worth it. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. If you would like, go ahead, like, subscribe, possibly hit notifications. We got a lot of reviews lined up for you guys, and that's it for me, guys. I'm out. Peace.